Hello everyone, this is Guy with Jewelry Store Marketers and we are excited to be here. I'm here with Elesa Dillon with Southern Jewelry News and Chuck Koehler of Anthony Jewelers in Nashville, Tennessee, columnist in Southern Jewelry News and also a very popular speaker in the industry. Thank you for being here. This is so exciting. Our very first podcast episode.
Toast to our very first one.
Toast. Great to be here.
Still trying to figure out what to name this, and there's a couple ideas that we have.
The name is going to be Stoned, a jewelry podcast.
Stone.
Yep. And
All right.
If you know me, you know I'm way down with that.
Sounds good. So we are definitely excited here. We're at the not the Southern Jewelry News. We're here at the
Atlanta Jewelry Show, SJTA, Southern Jewelry Travelers Association.
And this is probably going to be one of many, so we're excited about that, and we're excited to have you here. We had a customer stop by and say, "Oh, we love reading Chuck's stuff."
Yeah.
How much you pay them? Hey, there they are.
Yeah.
Well, do you know what I want everybody to think about? That, you know, over the last decade, that people attending shows has kind of gotten away from the norm, that people want to order their inventory online, or I don't know, but coming to shows is fun and you get to see people. I've been in this business 43 years and there's a lot of people that I've only met 42 times, and I'm going to meet them for the 43rd here, but they're good friends. They're people I know. They're people I talk on the phone to all the time because I'm ordering things. But it's a great place, and you know, jewelry shows are fun.
How else are you going to be able to see what's hot, what's not, get a leg up on the education series they do before this 2-day show? I mean, if you're
unless I'm teaching one of them, then
right.
You won't learn anything there.
You're in it to win it. So if you're in it to win it in your jewelry store, the best way to do that is to be present at a jewelry show.
Yeah.
Know what's going on.
So right now here at the Atlanta Jewelry Show, what was the best thing here? What do you think people are missing out on that didn't show?
I think you know what the best thing about here is the community. I don't think Atlanta Jewelry, you're not going to get treated any better at any other trade show. That's Soho, which is our March show. That is Southern hospitality. And that's not just the theme for this show, it's every show. The vendors and the buyers, is Southern hospitality to the best. So if you're looking from everything from packaging all the way to, you know, a couture line of designer, it's all here. So that's what I think is the best part about the show, the family atmosphere and the amount of jewelry being offered.
Well, and there's also the support that to run a jewelry store, yes, you have to have jewelry in the showcases. It has to be relevant, it has to be sellable, it has to be current, but you have to display it somewhere. And here, like where I'm sitting here, from just where I'm at, I'm looking at, because one, to control your inventory, you have to have an inventory management system, and I'm looking at the edge right over there, and if you've been thinking about it, you can watch all the YouTube videos you want, or you could just go right over there to that booth, put hands on it, there's an estate sale, then there's several of the online and
lots of
social,
technology.
Yeah, lots of technology.
Text Me Chat, all of those.
Yeah, and so in order to get the message out, you know, word of mouth is great, but, you know, the internet's important, and how do you figure it all out? Well, I'm sitting here, I can look through that little crack right there, and I can see 3 technology companies that one of them will work for you. You know, and will let you do something you haven't done before.
Right. I think one of the things that I see, of course, the family atmosphere. I like the Atlanta Jewelry Show a lot, much better than the bigger shows and so forth. But they offer a lot of education to the jewelers, right? And like you mentioned, you know, in the seminars, that's something that we hear. You know, as marketers, we hear, "Oh, thank you so much. You know, thanks for the tips, thanks for the information. It's really helpful." And it really gives a lot of value to the members of the SJTA.
Oh, I think they do a great job with education, and it's always changing, and you know, so it's the latest and the greatest that you want it. These people come and they show for 2 days. being able to meet all those attendees coming in. I mean, there you go. Where else are you going to be able to do that in such a great, relaxed atmosphere with lots of perks? It's just
Absolutely. I'll drink to that. Hey.
Here's to the staff at Atlanta Jewelry Show. These girls, they really, run by women, they do a great job.
Yeah.
And so I would like to say to the Atlanta Jewelry Show, us bench jewelers need some stuff too. And now this isn't anything, it's the front of the house and the back of the house they're two different worlds.
Right.
And, you know, trade shows as a rule tend to be front of the house trade shows. But I will say here, there's all kinds of tools and equipment you can put your hands on, like, you know, all of the laser welders, the laser engravers. There's several of those companies around here.
Yeah.
And there's all kinds of tool companies you can go look at it. So Atlanta Jewelry Show does a real good job with bringing in tool suppliers as well.
You go look at Stellar's booth, which is just amazing.
Yeah.
They're bringing in all their Rofens, and, you know, it's a one-stop shop, well, obviously, over at Stellar. So, yeah, you just,
Yeah, I really like the show, the people. I love the after the show, seeing everybody at the bar. That's a lot of fun, and I think I think the connections that you really make face to face is something that you don't get. You know, you talk to somebody, call the vendor, you know, get what you need, but you don't get that connection.
Yeah, like I said, I've got friends I've had for 43 years that I've only met in face-to-face 43 times, and it's always at a jewelry show.
Right.
that's amazing.
Perfect.
I know my family is, you know, a tribe of families that, you know, when we're here, we look forward to the dinners and the helping each other. I'm a networker, so I want to go out and network. Oh, you're my, you know, let's help each other. That's another thing that's really neat. Vendors, buyers alike, they talk. Oh, did you go and check this out over here? You know, Stellar has this new, you know, widget you got to see. And I think that because of the camaraderie, the community sense between the vendors and alike, that's what makes it special.
Yeah, no.
And what I probably get the most feedback on, that people are asking me questions as a columnist, and not because I know the answer, but I can probably find the answer, but it's about mainly with social media and which one do you use. And I'll be the first one to say, I don't know. But come to the Atlanta Jewelry Show.
And meet
and Guy. But
meet Guy.
Yeah, meet him. But literally it's all here, and you can sit down and go face to face, because you can conference call somebody all you want, you can send each other emails back and forth, but if you're sitting there and I'm sitting here and I'm having problems with social media or technology, I want to do something, you're going to sit there and solve my problem and show me how it can be solved in real time. And, you know, you just can't get that experience over the internet.
Yeah.
And one of the girls I was talking to earlier today, that she said she got her first cell phone when she was 13 years old, and it's never been out of her hand since then. And so those of us that were in the jewelry industry long before the internet, you know, I've just got this mindset, and I need to reach her cell phone. And, you know, my MySpace page isn't getting on her cell phone, you know. That I gotta get into her cell phone with my products and services. And there's something, I call it being trapped in the box. For those of us in the jewelry industry, once you get in and get set up, all of your merchandise is in your cases, you are trapped in the box. It's not like you're an insurance agent and have a little office. If you're going to go to lunch, you just lock the door. With a jewelry store, in order for you to leave, you have to take all the merchandise out. You got to go through your whole closing procedure, just if you're going to go run down to the post office or back. And so in the independent retailers, you know, we have this mindset, we get trapped in a box. And, you know, you've got to come out, you got to, as they say, get outside the box and come here and talk to people who are going to show you things that you just can't learn while you're trapped in a box. Because on the internet, somebody told me one time that when you're trying to get somebody's attention, or like as a customer, you can have the biggest store, you can have a big truck with the graphics on it and all that sort of stuff. But they said when it comes down to the internet, everybody basically has the exact same size store, and it's, literally that big. Everybody's store is the same size.
Right.
And the fact is if I need my store, which is here, to get into this person who, like, I'm going to guess she was in her mid-20s or something by now, but she said that when she was 13, she got a cell phone. And so basically, those of us old school people, we struggle with finding that.
Yeah.
And the fact, if you're going to survive in the business, you got to do it.
Yeah.
You got to do it. And, all of the people in the 30s and the 40s, but there are people that basically, we got to get our store in their phone.
Got it. Yeah, definitely. As marketers, and we do a lot of search engine optimization, and the thing that Google is really important to Google is your phone, like you mentioned. And they started a few years ago, they're only indexing all your websites, the mobile version, not your desktop version, because they want to make sure that your mobile version is working well.
Yeah.
So like you said, you got to be in their phone, and that's either on social media or your website. Before, it was a lot of relationship business, jewelers, but now with the technology so accessible, they have to pay attention to being able to get onto that phone, like you mentioned.
Tell me this, okay? Let's just take somebody that's, they get their first phone when they're an early teenager, now they're 30, okay? And they're now in the buying market. How can you get my store on their phone?
The phone is been an extension to our life now. We try to find the best gas prices. Where do we find the nearest, this and that, car wash near me, or engagement ring near me, jewelry repair. So one of the biggest tips, and that was part of my education tips, is every business has a Google business profile. When you look it up, you'll see your number of reviews and stars that you have. Okay. Now it's called Google Business Profile. Last year was Google My Business, and now they changed it. They like changing everything. Keep everybody guessing. But so now it's Google Business Profile. You start working on your reviews, and we got some great companies here that help with the reviews to get more reviews, like text,
Yes.
And so we're getting better reviews, but also paying attention to your reviews, not your reviews, your profile. When you post on your profile, because you can post pictures, take it with your phone. Take a picture from your store with your phone, because it's geo-located, targeted. Because you could search on your phone, and you can search Las Vegas or Atlanta, because it knows where you took your picture. So you take that picture, you put it in your Google Business Profile, and now when somebody's searching for jewelry store, it knows, this guy is in right here in Chattanooga, Tennessee, and there's a proximity. It starts with proximity. Who's closer? So now who's closer? Who's got relevancy? A jewelry store. They guys have jewelry repair categories in your jewelry. So Google My Business, Google Business Profile is very important. It's not even touching your web. You got an old website, and you're like, boy, I got to update this. Start with your Google Business Profile.
Our first podcast, and we've already learned.
There you go.
There you go.
That is very good information for our.
But you know what? That reminds me of something I learned recently, because there's a lot of people that are getting away from Google, and they're going to different search engines like DuckDuckGo.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then when you buy a new PC, not a Mac, when you buy a new PC and you got that Microsoft operating system, the thing that's built in is Bing.
Yes.
Not Chrome.
Oh, really?
And it used to be Internet Explorer, now it's Bing. So so these people that buy a computer, they don't go saying, I want to use Chrome, I want to use Firefox. They just use what they have.
Whatever's on.
Let me search from here. So not only are you, now Google is the biggest, and a lot of people use them, but you got to pay attention to what your Bing profile looks like as well.
Well, let me tell you this, that because I like to use DuckDuckGo.
Absolutely.
And I found out recently that DuckDuckGo uses Apple Maps. They don't use Google Maps. So I have spent the last decade or more working on my my Google Maps and making all my geolocations for Google and all that work. So now on DuckDuckGo, if you search for my business on DuckDuckGo, it doesn't see me. because it's Apple Maps. So I had to go in and create an Apple Maps profile and do several things. So now anybody else that's using DuckDuckGo finds me because they're using a completely different mapping system.
Right. And really one of the biggest reason why people use DuckDuckGo, it's not even close to as big as Google or Bing, but people use it because it doesn't track your usage.
Yeah.
I thought everything tracks your usage.
Well, that's what DuckDuckGo's biggest feature is.
Yeah.
We won't track your usage. So Google, they track all the usage because when you start looking at new cars, the Kia, all of a sudden you're seeing Kia.
I was looking for a new car and one popped up out of the blue about 2 months ago, and
you swear my phone's listening in on
And
it.
that's how I bought my
everybody
car. It
does
popped
that,
up.
but yeah.
Yeah.
They follow you on Facebook, Instagram, right? You're trackable everywhere. I was wondering about how DuckDuckGo, how they can say that it's not trackable.
You know, and I don't know, but like I say, my only thing about it is I found out they use Apple Maps, and Apple Maps didn't know anything about Anthony Jewelers on Davidson Drive on
Got it.
So I
Nashville,
think the lesson
Tennessee.
being here, do your research when you're doing any type of you know,
Yeah, come to the
technology.
Atlanta Jewelry Show
Come to
and
the
meet
show,
all the
sit
technology
down and talk
reps.
to somebody like Guy who says, look, I can increase your
Right.
optimization on your website. You know, we can help you get the social media. Oh, you don't know how to set up your there's a lot to learn. Again, you can learn that on Skype but nothing
Amazing.
compares to what we're doing right here.
Absolutely.
Having
Hey,
a beer with friends, making new, seeing old. It's just fantastic.
Yeah, but everybody knows that if somebody is looking for a business that they don't have a relationship, they're going to start on their phone and they're going to look for it, and your business has to pop up
You
on their
better be
phone.
there.
Absolutely. That's the biggest thing, and that's why there's a lot of companies talk about paid ads and social media, but I feel like SEO is really important. Search engine optimization, when you have that organic link, that organic listing that pops up on the first page and people searching for jewelry repair and they find you on that first page, it's really important. And the other thing is the buying intent. When somebody searches for watch band replacement, it's because they want watch band replacement. And that's the difference on Google, where it's keyword specific and they have that buying intent. On Facebook, when you put something there, it's disruptive. They're scrolling through like my family pictures and they're like, oh wait, watch band repairs, and they're like, I don't want that. Unless you catch them at the very right time, like, oh right. So there's two different purposes there, but the SEO organic listings are super powerful.
So powerful.
So there's all, like you said, connect with vendors, education, learn more about the business. What do you think people are what else is gonna come up in this podcast in the future? Why should people tune in?
Why not?
Why?
Why wouldn't
Well,
you?
I think it's because of our trusted name of Southern and Mid-America Jewelry News as a trusted source since 1988. We're going to continue that Southern Jewelry News charm and Midwest charm to inform, educate, and entertain our readers, not only our vendor community and our advertising partners that are like family to us, but our retailers who are like family to us. I think we're going to have fun guests on here that are going to tell us how to get more traffic in your store. We're going to tell you how to increase your presence online.
And I would like to just invite any of our readers out there,
Everybody.
if you're good at getting people in your store and you want to be on the second, third, or fourth episode of Stoned, if it gets to the second, third, or fourth episode of Stoned, but that with technology we can Skype you from your store, and like I said, if nothing else, we'll bring you in, and that's fun. But this is going to be for like independent retail jewelers that, for those of us that are trapped in the box, this is a way for us to learn things that that we need to know.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of exciting stuff.
Here's to
And
our
I'm
first
super
inaugural.
happy.
What a great time.
Stoned or other.
Yeah,
we'll see.
we'll work on that.
How about some high polished ideas.
High polished, yes,
High polished thinkers.
yes. So there's
We
a
are
lot of
high
different
polished
things.
thinkers over here.
Yeah.
Well, good.
Lots of
Well,
good
anyway,
ideas.
thanks for inviting me, and
Well,
this was fun.
yeah, it was
guys,
fun.
thanks for
Thank you,
thanks for
guys.
hosting it for us.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
It was very
absolutely.
exciting. Very exciting. I hope everybody, I know everybody checks out your articles, but they come over. I love reading about Chuck.
Oh yeah.
And thank God, once in a while, somebody's, oh, I saw your article. And
Yeah.
that's great. Thank you
It's
so
nice,
much.
yeah.
And thank you, Elesa, and to Southern
Yeah.
Jewelry News, because, you know, you guys, like I told you, Southern Jewelry News is like the gold that needs to be mined. There's so much value
Yeah.
with Southern Jewelry News. And they cater to an area, Mid-America and Southern, that really have a great community, great jewelers, great vendors. We got the South.
That's right.
We got the South.
That's right.
We got Midwest.
That's right.
So thank you so much.
Thank you guys.
This is
Thank
awesome.
you, Chuck.
Sure.
And
And yeah.
good job, everybody. We'll see
We'll
you
see
next
everybody
time.
at the next jewelry show.
Yeah.
So the next show is coming up at the end of August here in Atlanta. And again, a full day of conference education on Friday and a 2-day buying show. And, come see what's hot,
Elesa, that's what's hot.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
Only after a few beers. Cheers.